is where you should take notes. So page 180, take some notes. Let's do a real easy one to start though. Let's go.
We did have a class to call in first, but failed to give us their name.
I'm allowed, I threw them all in the room.
Okay, so first of all, we need to understand what certain things are. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is a sequence?
What is it?
What is a sequence?
It's like a sequence of events. So like
So she said it's a sequence of events, meaning that one thing follows the next, right? So they follow each other. In math, when we're talking about a sequence, she's right. One thing follows the next. But in math, we're talking about one thing following the next in a what? In a pattern. So it's not just random, right? It's not like, Logan follows Rachel because he happens to be sitting behind her, and then like 2 seats later, Ryder follows. That has no pattern to it, right? So there should be a pattern in math when we have a sequence. There should be some sort of pattern. So the key to what we're doing in sequences is distinguishing different patterns, okay? So you might want to write that in your notes, kind of maybe at the top there. It doesn't have a place for sequence per se, but a sequence in general is that it has some sort of a mathematical pattern going from one entry to the next, one event to the next, kind of like Rachel said. So you go from one event to the next, but how you get there follows a pattern. So look at this one right here. Okay, this should be a real easy one. So write it. How am I going from 1 to 4, 4 to 7, 7 to 10?
Adding 3.
You're adding 3 every time. Now, how did he figure that out? I know that seems like a strange question, and he may not even know the answer to how he knew he added 3. But there is an answer to how I can get 3 using the numbers 4 and 1, 7 and 4, 10 and 7. How do I get a 3 out of those pairs of numbers? There you go. Say that again. Minus what?
4 minus 1.
The preceding from the following. And that's what I want you to learn on this, is that to find the difference, okay, to find the difference, we call that D. To find the difference in an arithmetic, you take the, I usually say second minus the first, but I don't want you to think it's just these two. It can be any of them. So we'll say the following minus the preceding. Okay? So whatever follows, we'll subtract whatever preceded it. You with me? So what are some of the ways that we could get 3 then, using those numbers? 4 minus 1, what else? Tell me what else I would get 3. 7 minus 4. Notice it's the following minus the preceding. Or what?
10 minus 4.
Do all those equal 3? Yeah, every one of those. It should be a common, this is what we call a common difference. Now we've done these before, okay? We've done these before. That's the common difference. So you need to have this equation in our notes. This is the arithmetic sequence equation. Okay, this is an arithmetic. Arithmetic means you're either adding or what? Subtracting. So arithmetic means you're adding or subtracting. Guess what geometric means? If arithmetic means adding or subtracting, guess what geometric must mean? Yeah, you're either timesing or dividing. Okay? So that's either you're timesing or dividing. So this is, it's the same, the opposite type of definition. Arithmetic versus geometric. Okay, so D is the common difference. We just talked about that. Why in the heck do you want this formula instead of just being able... Can you list the next number? Tristan, what's the next number in this sequence?
13.
13. What did he do? Nobody even helped him. Because all you do is add what? 3. What's the next number, Canyon?
16.
16. I mean, it's easy, right? It's easy to do. Here's the weird part, and this is what they like to do on like the ACT test, is they'll say, all right, tell me the 50th number in that sequence. Do you want to list them all the way out to 50? Can you? Can you? Oh yeah, for sure. You can just keep adding what? 3, but that takes a long time. They love this question on the ACT because they know it's easy, and they know you can do it, but they know you'll take an hour doing it, and then you waste all your time, and you only get like 3 questions done, and then you're like, I didn't answer any questions. So this is a time consumer on the ACT. But if you think of the formula, you can do it really easy. So let's use the formula to find the 50th term here. The formula says to find the nth term of the sequence, so n is the term placement. Okay, n is the term placement, the place that the term is sitting, not necessarily the term. To find the term placement of n, or the term of n, you have to take the first term, that's what that means. You might want to write this in your notes. That's the first term. You take the placement minus 1, and multiply it by the common difference. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. So if we're going to find the 50th term in the sequence, let's do it. Okay, so a sub 50, that's the 50th term. That's all that's saying. A sub 50 means I want to find the 50th term. Logan, what will I write? What's the first term? What's the first term in this sequence? 1. So I'm just going to write 1 plus, see, I'm just following this. What is n what is n? 50. So I'm going to go 50 minus 1. What's that, Logan?
49.
49 times, what am I going to multiply it by? Set. What am I going to multiply it by? The common what?
No.
Difference. What is the common difference? What am I adding every time?
3.
So I just times it by 3. This will be my answer. Now 349s, most people don't do that in their head really well, but if you'll think 350s, what are 350s? 150 minus 3. What's 150 minus 3?
47.
147 plus 1 is 140 what? 8. That's the answer. So if I kept adding 3 50 times, how far would I get? 148. Now do you want to add 3 50 times? No, nobody wants to do that. It's a lot easier to just do that little formula. So that's how the arithmetic formula works. Now we've done this one before. Okay? So that shouldn't be new. But now we're going to distinguish between different ones and then be able to tell what's going on. Now, is every sequence arithmetic? Does it always follow a pattern of adding or subtracting? No, it doesn't. Okay? Let's look at this one up here. Okay, let's look at this top one. Is it following a sequence of adding or subtracting? What do you think, Nick? Is this one arithmetic? Okay, what am I adding?
4.
I am. You can tell if you want by taking 2 minus 2, or sorry, 2 minus negative 2, my bad there. So if I take 2 minus negative 2, if I take negative 2 minus negative 6, if I take negative 6 minus negative 10, what am I doing over here? I'm following this idea of common difference, following minus what? Preceding. See, if I take the following minus the preceding, following minus preceding, following minus, all these should be the same. Are they all 4? Yeah, I'm not going to do every one of them, but they're all 4. So the common difference, D, is 4. That's important because that lets me find anything. Okay, find the 25th term in this sequence. Okay, find the 25th term in this sequence, Addie. How would I do that? How would I find the 25th term out there? A sub 25 equals what? What's the first term? What's the first term? Negative 10 plus placement 25, right? Minus 1. What's 25 minus 1? 24 times 4. Again, a lot of you might not be able to do 24 times 4 in your head, but you can do a quarter times 4. How much is 4 quarters? It's 100, it's $1, right? So it's 100 minus 4. What's 100 minus 4? What's 100 minus 4? 96. So that's 96. Minus 10 more is, there's my answer. Isn't that a lot easier than adding 4 over and over and over again? Yeah. So that's the 25th term, okay? So this is arithmetic, not too hard. Are these arithmetic? Dakota, what do you think? Are those arithmetic? No. If you think about it, we only have 3 of them, so let's take negative 4 minus negative 16. What will that be? What's a negative times a negative? That's a positive. 16 minus 4 is 12. So the difference between these two numbers is what? 12. If I add 12 to it, I'd get to negative 4. But notice that if I take negative 16 minus negative 64, I should get 12. Notice every one of these were 4. So every one of these should be 12. Is it? No, that's going to be plus 64. 64 minus 16 is, I don't know, 48? Are those the same? No. So automatically I know it's not what? Arithmetic. Okay? So it's not arithmetic. What else could it be? Geometric, right? It could be geometric. How am I going to tell this? Well, this has a little different formula to it. Just like the D is kind of the key here, that common difference, the key thing here is what we call the common ratio. Okay, this is what we're multiplying by or dividing by, is this R. Okay, how do you find R, the common? So just like we had common difference, we want to find common ratio. Well, the common ratio should be the following. You want to put this in your notes, by the way, this is important. The common ratio is the following divided by the preceding. I don't know that I'm spelling preceding right, but oh well. Okay, so following divided by preceding. Okay, so Ryder, what should I divide to find out what I'm multiplying by all the way along here? Okay, negative 16 divided by what? Here's the mistake kids are going to make. I'm going to have kids write negative 16 divided by what? 4. That's not right. I want to do negative 16 divided by what? Following divided by preceding. I want to do negative 16 divided by negative 64. Can you see that? Do not make this mistake of doing negative 16 over negative 4. Okay? Seth, what does this reduce to? What's the negative over negative? Okay. What goes into both 16 and 64?
8.
Okay, 8 goes into 16 how many times?
Twice.
8 goes into 64 how many times?
8.
8. Does that reduce?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 goes into both. It's 1 what? Okay. Now, let's see if that's the right common difference. We did second divided by first. Let's do third divided by second, just to make sure. So, Sally, what should I write? If I'm doing third divided by second. Negative 4 divided by negative 16. Is that going to reduce to the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be 1 divided by 4. Is that the same? Yes. So what is 1/4? The common what? Ratio. That means I'm timesing by a 4 every time. This is going to get small, closer to 0 really quick, actually. Okay, from a negative direction. So my common ratio for this one is 1/4. Let's find the 10th term in that sequence. The 10th term in that sequence. What's ace of 1? Yes, negative 64. Yep. Ace of 1 is the first term, right? What is the n? It's the term placement, I'm telling you, right? I said I want to find the what term? The 10th term. Okay? So Gannon, what am I going to write if I'm finding the 10th term? Using geometric.
So you do the 8 to the 10?
No, ace of 1 is what this is first. Which one is the first term?
10 or negative 64?
There you go. So I want to write that one first. And a lot of kids forget to do that. They forget to put the ace of 1. Don't forget that. Then I'm going to times it by what? oh, sorry, I put a sub 1 right there, huh? I shouldn't have. Sorry, this is the common what? Ratio. So sorry. So this is 1/4. So R is 1/4. That means I'm timesing by a 4th to get to the next number. And then I'm raising it to the what power though? 9th power.
Wow.
Now is that going to be easy to do?
No.
In your head? No. But is it easy to do on a calculator? Yeah. Make sure you use what on your calculator? Nope. Who said it? Somebody over here did. Was it Dakota? I can't tell. I heard what she said. I just didn't know who it was to say it because everybody's mouth's covered. So, all right. So Dakota said we're going to make sure we use parentheses. So when you grab one of those calculators, if you need a calculator, grab one. But as you use it, and I want everybody to do this, so grab a calculator if you're going to need one. Or if you're going to use your phone, that's fine. Just make sure that you're putting a parenthesis on your phone. But you must use what? Parentheses. Trust me, if you don't, you're going to get in trouble here.
Why?
Okay? Because is what it'll do, if you put it in your phone or in your calculator without parentheses, it'll times the 64 to the 1 before it's raised to the what? 9. Do you want that? No. You want to do exponent before multiplication. The parentheses on your calculator makes that happen. Okay? It'll do the exponent, then it'll do the multiplication. If you leave the parentheses off, your calculator will multiply by 1, then divide by 4, then take 4 to the 9th power. It may do 4 to the 9th power before it does it, but it won't do the 1 to the 9th power. So you got to be careful with that. Make sure you put that in parentheses. The raised to the key is, remember, the upside down B. Okay? So punch that into your calculator. Tell me what you get. Now, it'll give you a decimal almost always. Okay? So see what your decimal value is. Somebody tell me. Somebody do this? What'd you get, Nick?
-0.000.
3 zeros?
Yeah.
Okay, then what? Oh, just 2 zeros? Point, so decimal first, then 0, 0, 0, then what? 2, 4, 4. Okay, that's good enough. Does that mean anything to you? No, but guess what your calculator can do? I don't know if it'll do it because it might be too
Is it a
big.
fraction?
Yeah, hit the fraction key
It's
after.
-1/4096.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad it said that. -1 over 4096.
But remind me how to do that.
Huh?
How
I'm using the calculator on my phone.
I can do a fraction to a decimal, but how do I do a decimal to a fraction?
It's still the F to D key or D to F key.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it'll work though.